I'm single, and as you say, I'm successful, and that's good. The problem is, though, I'm a loser because of this, right? What's up? What's up? Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are live. Welcome to For the Sake of It podcast. This is the live stream. Man, I'm still trying to check these mics up in here. This is what happens when you steal the studio time. Enough of that. How are you doing? Maybe I need to get that out. Muko aje, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. We are live right now. My name is Uncle Mike the Baker, and I just want to welcome you to this wonderful podcast, this wonderful episode. This is episode 2 of For the Sake of It. And today we are live on RFM radio as well. So you're watching me live on YouTube as well as people were listening to me live on radio. How cool is that? Yeah? Umayona podcast gani ingine inafanywa hivyo. So how have you been? How has your week been? What have you been up to? Let me know hapo kwa comment section. And just in case you're listening to me on radio, this is the YouTube podcast starting right now. We're just going to go a few minutes alafu we end this. Kwa wale wananisikiza live on radio, karibuni sana. You can watch me live on YouTube. We have an amazing show today, some amazing conversations. But before we get started, how about something like this, just for laughs?
Niko tu serious na pesa za watu manze. Jana usiku manze nimeingia soka kuchukua kiatu. Mtu wangu. Ona manze, usiku ilikuwa inaonekana kama Nike. Mchana naamuka asubuhi naangalia bana ni Mike. Mike ni ya kiatu gani bana? Some people are not serious with their life. Muna chocha watu. Sasa Mike ndio nini? Watu wangu watu wako serious sometimes. Mike manze, Mike. Hapa napo mmeniweza. Sijaifanywa hii. Hii nayo mmeniweza watu wangu. Hii nimepigia jamaa makofi bwana. Mtapita nikimuona nimsalimie. Mike. Hata zangeandika hata microphone bwana. Guys, sometimes watu mkuongea
for laughs. Just for laughs hapo hivyo. That is Mike shoes. Kuna watu na viatu, just for you to know. Kuna watu na viatu. By the way, this is episode 2 of this podcast. Karibuni sana if you're watching live on YouTube. If you're watching on playback, this is a weekly podcast coming to you every day. We are recording live from RFM studios, and we are also live on RFM radio. That is 99.9. And the reason I decided today to do it live is so that I have a very clean speech. Toihamwe, so that nikuwe na eloquence nini bila kuvuka mipaka. So welcome. This is the show. Let me tell you what this podcast about. This podcast inaitwa For the Sake of It. And I decided it's important for us to just have conversations from wherever we are. Tunaongea kuhusu whatever has been trending, whatever is happening around us. We have seen, tumekuwa through a rainy season, na hiyo season imeisha. And I mean, we thank God, at least leo nimeamka beautiful sunlight, nimekuja all the way to the studio, beautiful weather, very fantastic time. It's something that we have not had in a long time. Kwa hivyo, every time you see this, you know, tunashukuru Mungu, because either way, we are still here. You know, as we're talking about the weather, jana, I met a friend of mine. Yesterday was Saturday, just in case. Yesterday was Friday. Man, what have I been drinking? So jana, I met a very good friend of mine, and he was going for a funeral. And he told me, I'm going to my sister's funeral. She was among the people who were swept away by the floods, by the ile nini tunnels zile zilipasuka pale hivyo Kijabe. She was among the people who was swept away by the waters. And I really felt for him, because first of all, I didn't know that happened. But I really, if you're watching this and you've been going through this time, this is a time where to let to our senses, where we start looking at life a bit more seriously. Every time you wake up in the morning, I want you to know that there is a purpose for you in life, bana. Unajua si uamka tunaishia, you know, I'm a biker, and as a biker, whenever we ride on the highway, si utoka asubuhi ukienda, you don't know whether you're going to come back, because a lot of things happen on the highway. You don't know. Unajua ukiwa kwa barabara, tunasemekanaga when you go to driving school, unaambiango wewe peke yako ndio uko timamu, au wengine wote unaona huko ni wenda wazimu. So so that keeps you in check. Unakaa ukijua hapa hivi niko solo. So even as I ride this bike, even as I'm on the highway, I take care of myself first. So as this guy was telling me how he lost his sister to the floods, I really felt for him, and I also felt for the families of people who actually lost people in the floods. Hiyo kitu, you know, as in they woke up, it was not their willing. They didn't commit suicide. They just about their business, or probably asleep, and that happened. So my condolences go out to the families of the people who've lost their loved ones during this time. Also, even as we think about that, it also helps us to begin to see the importance of life, and to begin to live our lives with a little bit of more purpose. Sababu, we are here today, we don't know about tomorrow. You don't know what is going to happen in the next minute. That is how fragile life is. So make the best of what you have right now, even as you live and have a vision for your life and purpose and plan and all that. Always make the very best of every minute you got. Saizi vile uko hapa, make the best of it. And that brings me to the next thing, is about making the best out of what you have. This week was my birthday. This week was my birthday on Wednesday, and I turned 39. Wacha nikuambie, this is where you start to actually think. You know, I was thinking about my life, and I was asking myself, what do I want to do with my life? And I remembered a couple of years, I went through my vision board a couple of years ago, and in my vision board nilisemaga, by the time I get to 40, I want to have multiple streams of income. I don't want to rely on one thing. I mean, working here in radio is one thing, doing podcast is another thing, but also what more can I do with my life so that 24 hours zangu zinaniletea more fruit. So in my vision board nilisema, when I turned 40, that was years ago, by the way. I think it was when I was 34. So I went through the books and I was looking at it, and I was like, And I was like, I want to have multiple streams of income. So when my birthday came, I was thinking, what do I do now to start building up to where I want to be when I get to 40? So I decided, you know what? Instead of buying myself a gift this time round, why don't I just begin another business? Another stream of income. Wacha niite hivyo. So I went to a friend of mine who owns an own maduka. So I was like, hey bro, kuget hapa hivi shop, kuget space kwa hii shop, hii building yako itani cost how much? So he told me, and I made a payment. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to have another stream of income. Maybe it's time for me to start working towards my 40 vision board for my next year. So saizi ni time ya kukuwa serious na maisha. It's no jokes here. And something else that also happened, even as I turned 40, is I was watching a video. It's time for me to start getting serious about life. Wacha nikwambie, maisha usonga. If you're watching this and you're a young person, you're probably in your 20s, I want you to know very soon you will be in my shoes. Utakuwa hapa. And my question to you is, where do you see yourself when you get here? By the time you're hitting 39, unajiona wapi? All right, so start thinking about that. Start, focusing on that. Start have a vision board for your life. See about at our job, even your own life. Like, where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing when you get there? What kind of car do you want to be driving? If you're interested in biking, what kind of bike do you want to have by the time you get to a certain age? It's important for you to have a vision board, by the way. And so, hey, let me see. So as I was going through this moment, I came across this video, and I want to share this with us, even as we can have a conversation about it. Sindio. So this is Trevor Noah, for those of you who watch a lot of this. So let me put this on big screen. How do you enlarge this? Thank you. There you go. So let's listen to this, and then we'll have a conversation about it. Sindio. Wait a minute, Mr. Trevor Noah. This is another stigma yenye na face wase wenye wako rika yangu. Watu wa rika yangu wanapitia vitu kama hizi. So let's listen out.
I'm single, and as you say, I'm successful, and that's good. The problem is, though, I'm a loser because of this, right? Society has deemed me a loser, whether I like it or not. Because if you're not married, or you haven't been married, that's the key one. Like, being married is like you've...
By the way, fair use to whoever created this podcast.
Served. There's a certain honor that comes with it. Thank you for your service. And if you've never been married, there's this weird thing that people do to you where, they either treat you like you're not a serious person in life. Like, they just go like, so what do you do? What do you do? And you're like, what do you mean, what do I do? I live life. And they're like, no.
So, let me react to that. When you're my age, the pressure that comes with being here is different from the pressure you face in your 20s. When I was 20, the pressure that I was having back in the day from society is, what are you doing with your life? Many people in their early 20s, they're in college. I didn't go to college. Nilimaliza high school nikajitoa. I went to hustle. I went out into the streets and I decided, you know what? I want to build something for myself. So I went out and I was out there doing things. Nina hawk hapa, nauza njugu, nauza sweetie, natafuta kibarua hapa na pale, nachimba mitaro, nafanya kazi kampuni flani. And that was my life in my 20s. Niko church, but I was a very staunch church boy, which is very important for you to have a base spiritually in your life. So niko church, and at this point, the big questions then nilikuwa naulizwa hizo siku ni, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? Ni nini unafanya kwa maisha yako kubeta life yako? Where's your what do you do with your life? Are you in college? What are you studying? This is the pressures that you guys face, especially in your 20s. Is what are you doing with your life? Where are you going with your life? Once you hit 30s and you've already figured out what you want to do in your life and what you're doing, or you're doing something and it's starting to work out, the next pressure that comes in is, who are you spending your life with? Umezeeka sasa, anza kuoa, fikiria kuhusu familia. And you have, my parents, my dad then was like, you know what, mimi nataka kuona wajukuu. And during this time, kumbuka during this time, nilitoka home nikaishia kuhustle. So I went through my moments of, you know, when it comes to relationships, I dated several people. I mean, you're in your 20s, you're experimenting with life. Hakuna mbio, uko tu pale, you know, you're pushing. Kaende, venye kataenda, kwenye kataenda, you know. And so I was there, and then I came to my 30s. Now in my 30s, kakitu nimeanza kushika fiti. So now pressure ni, wapi mtu, wapi watu wewe. So every time I go home is, where are your people? Watu wako wapi? You know? And that became another pressure. Now, of course, that led me into marrying. And I'm 39 now, divorced. Hey, lived a whole life in just a decade. My goodness. So I went through life, of course, divorced, married because of the pressure, went into it, realized this thing is not going to work out. So divorce happened at 36. So mimi ndio huyu hapa. And I focused on myself, work on myself, build capacity, add value, all those things. And then, boom, now here I am, 39. And at my age, here's when now you begin to look like what Trevor Noah here is saying, and you're a failure. This is now what Trevor is saying here. By the way, this guy named Trevor Noah is an amazing comedian, just in case you're watching. So he talks about being a failure. The society sees you as a failure as long as you do not have a family. The other day kulikuwa na mazishi ya one of these Kikuyu artists anaitwa Kioi Junior. Na kwa hiyo mazishi kuna pastor anaitwa Pastor Kuria ama Mankush. Alisimama akasema, kama hauna watoto wewe ni bure. Remember, he stood up and said something like that. Kama wewe hauna familia, hauna watoto wewe ni bure. In fact, toka hapa enda ukakae na huko. You know, and you're termed as a failure when you're at my age and you do not have a family, you do not have kids. People my age, actually. In fact, let me be honest with you. The women I went to school with, who are my age mates exactly, wako na watoto wenye wako college sahi. I keep telling my peers, my friends, that watu warika yangu wako na watoto college. And I am for real. People my age right now have kids in college, and I'm talking about women. And so for me, being here with no kids, having been married and divorced, according to society standards, I am termed as, you're a failure because you do not have. And marriage has become like a standard. Hapa ndipo tunafaa kukua, maisha inafaa kuwa, marriage inafaa kuwa standard ya life. So ukiwa married, wewe uko kwa kiwango ingine ya life. Now, I don't know who came up with that idea, because life is a choice. You live your life as a choice. And this is now where I come in and I tell you, hey bro, do not be pushed by people to do things. I know for them, their clock is like, clock yao wamekundia. That's why I just said in the previous point is, have a vision board for your life. Once you have a vision board, as you grow, you're looking at the board and you're like, hey, up and down mefika, I need to be here by this time. So I just said, in my vision board, by the time I'm 40, I have multiple streams of income. So what am I doing now towards getting there? And I already took the first step. I have radio as one source of income. I have one business as another source of income. And now I'm adding another one to have multiple, so that by the time I hit 40, I have several channels of income, making my life easier once I hit 40 and above in my 40s. Staki kukua hapa na hustle in my 40s. That is not in my vision board. So again, according to society, you're termed as a failure because you're not married. So marriage is like a goal. Marriage is like a level of achievement when it comes to society. But I want to tell you today, marriage is your choice. Having been married, I can tell you for sure, marriage is a choice. You have to choose. This is something you choose to be in. You don't be pushed into, don't be influenced to get into it, because it is a job. It is not easy. Easy kitu naamkanga ati inawaka. Itawaka tu. It will not. So again, fair use, Trevor Noah, fair use to the lady who does this podcast. I'm going to play this again, even as we transition into the
And
next.
as you say, I'm successful, and that's good. The problem is, though, I'm a loser because of this, right? Society has deemed me a loser, whether I like it or not. Because if you're not married, or you haven't been married, that's the key one. Like, being married is like you've served. There's a certain honor that comes with it. Thank you for your service. And if you've never been married, there's this weird thing that people do to you where, you know, they either treat you like you're not a serious person in life. Like, they just go like, so what do you do? What do you do? And you're like, what do you mean, what do I do? I live life. And they're like, no, but what do you do? Where are you? And it's interesting to see how that
What do you do with your life? Well, that is society for you. And I want to tell you, as a person who has been there, don't be influenced by society to make some decisions. Some decisions are lifelong decisions. I know. There's something we used to say when I was in church. In this life, you're given one life. You wake up, you are born, and you have two options, two life goals. One, what do you do with the life you have? And number two, who do you spend the life you have with? Those are two very important things that you need to know, even as you go about life. So even as we're talking about making the best of your life, I want you to start thinking, what do you do? What are you doing with your life right now, if you're watching this? And another key, very important thing is choose who you're going to spend the life you have with. Because the person you choose to spend your life with will either make you or break you. That's just period. If you choose to spend the life by yourself, it will either make you or break you. If you choose to spend the life with someone, take your time, get to know this person, get to know their characteristics. Wachana na sura. Sura itaisha, bro. You know, hizi ni vitu za kuenda. Mandevu nini, nilisikia kuna mtu alikuwa asema, baba nipe bwana mandevu. Hizi naweza nyoa kesho sina. So stop looking at the physical. Start looking at the qualities that the person brings into your life. And make a very wise decision on how you're going to spend your life. Who you spend your life with is very important. And what you do with your life. So make the best of it and choose wisely who you spend your life with. So as we transition, something came up this week. I've been trying to get this image on, lakini imekataa kuingia. So I'm just going to talk about this. An image that there's some photo. Let me see if I can actually find it on my phone and just show you on camera. There's a photo that, a group of photos that came out. I think this I'm just going to show you on the camera. Sababu hapa imekataa kucheza venye nilikuwa nataka. Which is still okay, because at least leo mnaona I'm very, very prepared with this. Today I'm not playing games, bana. Let me see. Let me put this up. Yeah, here it is. So there's a photo that came out this week. There you go. You can see it. You see that photo? That is a photo of a guy proposing. And among the people who wenye wako hapo kwa spectator wenye wanampigia makofi is a man who is taking the video. There's a man who's covering the moment. And on another picture, you see the man who was capturing the moment. The man who was capturing the moment is now the one with the girl. Umeona? And kuna mtu aliandika hapo akasema, your enemy your enemy is right there within you. Your enemy is among the people who is celebrating you. Now that image oh my goodness, that image was it came that is what has been trending this week. So I decided, let me talk about it. Let me see if I can actually get it on a video here. Exactly, here we go. So like I said, as you think about the person, tuna transition to mdogo mdogo. As you live your life, you have chosen what to do. The next important decision is who you're going to spend your life with. Very, very important, because that person will either make you or break you. Here's why. And by the way, fair use to everyday motivation. I'm going to use this for teaching purposes only, so let's play it.
I'm done. I no longer want to waste my time with somebody that's entertaining other people or playing with my emotions or giving me mixed feelings.
Did you hear that? Kijana, ulisikia hiyo maneno? Now this is a cry that many people are crying. Hii ni kilio ya wengi saizi. Especially if you've been in a relationship, ama if you're trying to get into a relationship, ama as you prepare, as you're getting there, you're looking at people around you and you're like, ay, kama hii ndio relationship, I'll pass. Because this is what you're seeing.
Done dating in 2024. I'm done. I no longer want to waste my time with somebody that's entertaining other people or playing with my emotions or giving me mixed feelings. I don't want to be confused anymore in a relationship. The sad part is people are sleeping with each other, people are having fun with each other, but nobody's marrying each other. Everybody's just being entertained. There's people that are married that are talking to other women. There's women that are married that are sleeping with other men. What kind of year is this?
We are living in amazing times, my people. We are living in some amazing times that we are actually seeing this playing out. In that image, you see that guy literally proposing to the love of his life. Wonderful guy with all the good intentions at heart. What about the lady? What is she doing? Where is the lady going? The lady is right there. She does the, oh, let me put it for you nicely so you get to see it vizuri hapo. Oh, wow, oh, yes. And then, one of the guys taking the video gets the lady at the end. And so this guy will be left asking himself this. This guy who's proposing here, ataachwa akijiuliza hii swali. What kind of year is this? And he will be left bitter and hurt. Why? Not because he had bad intentions. Because he meant well. All he wanted was to marry the love of his life, spend his life with her, build his life with her. But who is he taking? This. And this is what this guy is going to be left as. And he's going to be asking himself, what year is this? What is going on right now? So, even as we transition here, the person you choose to spend your life with is either going to make you or break you. The choice is yours. And even as we continue on and transition into the show, I want to talk about something else that happened. So another thing that has happened this week is the most, let me put it this way. Let me put my words into my thoughts clearly. As a media personality, as a radio presenter, as a radio host, as a musician, because I have been a recording artist for actually 16 years. One of the things that you want people to do, one of the best marketing tool is having people talk about your work. Having conversations around what you do. So the whole of this week kumekuwa na hii, I think for the last 2 weeks kumekuwa na hii story ya Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. Which for me, now these guys, I listen to all their music. So for me, I'm a music fan. So I'm basically having this conversation even as I transition into something else. As a music fan, these people, these two artists, by the way, in the last 2 weeks, their music has been the highest streamed. Why is that? Because they have managed to raise conversations all over the world about their beef. They have this so-called beef. I'm beefing with you, you're beefing with me, so ninatoa ngoma kukudis, na unatoa ngoma kunidis. And because of all that, it has created a conversation around the world. That hadi mimi nikiwa hapa Limuru, I'm having this conversation, by the way. And I think for me, this is a brilliant move. When you can have people talk about your product, when you can have people start conversations, have conversation and debate about your product, that's when you win. As a media personality, nikikuja hapa nifanye show moja moto and leave you guys talking about this show. Manze akona show ingine, kuna kitu alisema hapa hivi. And whatever I say here is going to be cut into a clip and it will go into this house, go into podcast, go into all over the world, and they are talking about something that I said here. That is called marketing. That markets me as a radio presenter, as the person who said the words. It also markets the product, which is now the radio. That is why I decided I'm going to do this podcast right here in this studio, so that in case you guys find something in Ndasema and you start conversations about it, it is going to grow both me and the studio. That's what you get when you grow, when you become my age. You start thinking in terms of opportunity. You start looking at things like, hey, hapa kuna opportunity, let me capitalize. Hey, I can do this here, I can add this here, I can... Okay? So, another thing that has been happening this week, another group of people who have given us a lot to talk about this week, is this gentleman right here. Let me put this on screen. And this is why the conversation...
I can cancel last minute because of literally a stupid abinda kwambia. So last minute.
Na ngoma zangu ati unajifanya stupid boy. Twende kazi sasa. Wanauliza niko wapi, niko Rura show. Ini Kanairo, mind your business 254.
So those are waiting for stupid boy. He canceled last minute because he wanted to be paid. So stupid boy, just wait. We'll pay you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen. Hapa ndo unaanza kutafuta ngoma ya 3 ya 4 unatafuta kina Ufoneke wa kupromote ngoma. Na tunakumbuka, we shall remember, we shall revisit this one.
I'm going to get that to itafika tu hapo. Just for the sake of copyright purposes. As you can hear, icona music. I don't want to have a copyright strike on my YouTube. So, these guys have created a conversation that I thought would be important for us to have to talk about. I mean, this guy aliitwa interview. As a radio presenter, now I'm putting this as a radio presenter. As a radio presenter, I get so many artists who come to me and they want me to interview them. I have content creators who come to my DM saying they want me to interview them on my show. Now, this guy, his name is Stupid Boy, a brilliant, oh my goodness, this is one of the most amazing Kenyan talents. This guy can flow from here to Mombasa and back. This guy has an amazing voice. To talk about sauti yenye bro akianza kurap hapa hivi, you guys will go crazy. I've played his music. I play his music on my show. Here, right here. So, this guy was invited for an interview. As in, that's what we do. We look for somebody who's popping at the moment. We invite them for an interview because that will also push me to his audience. So he's invited to his interview and he's like, waka agree, Kenya wali agree, and last minute akasema, I'm not going. I'm sure he was advised by his friends. That is not, siyo kitu kubwa. That happens a lot, okay? That happens a lot. That even happens to me. I've invited people over for interviews, wakakata kukuja for their own personal reasons. I would never come here and say nilialika mtu fulani akakata kukuja. That would be the most stupid move for me. Because you know what that does for me? It lowers my credibility. So, Dr. Ufoneke, please nisikize. Anytime you're having a disagreement, that's why you need to double book people. So that if this one cancels, you have another one. It's called the principle of life. Have a abundance mentality, bro. You're in media. Now you have created conversations around this. This was something that was never meant to have conversation. However, there is a positive to it. And I'm going to start off by speaking as a musician, as a recording artist, as someone who has been there. Number one, when you record your music, you want people to listen to your music. Sindio? You start pushing your music to radio, you push your music online, and you do whatever it takes to just have your music out there. Now, watu wakisha kubali mziki yako, you have added value to yourself. So Stupid Boy has already added value to himself. So much so that a prominent media personality like Dr. Ofweneke invites him for an interview. Do you know what that does for both? Now, wacha ni switch now, as a radio presenter, nikiita msanii, nikiita Stupid Boy hapa tukuje to have conversation, that opens a door for me to his audience as a media personality. Now, his audience starts listening to me because nili host mtu anapenda. Tuko pamoja. Secondly, I introduce him to my audience as a radio presenter, because I know not everyone is listening to me. Not everyone is watching this show right now. So as I invite this person, it's a double-edged sword. Uyu, mina ingia kwa world yake, na yana ingia kwa world yangu. So my people start listening to him because I had him on my show. His people start listening to me because he came on my show. They start listening to me after he's gone. That is called a marketing tool. So this guy invites him, and this guy is like, you know what, I'm sure he started rethinking. He's like, nitaenda interview, and then what? Now brings you to another level of life. Zile times tunaishi, this Gen Z generation, as much as we point fingers at them, they have found another way that works. This, what we have here, does not work for them. That's why radio is losing listenership. True. Niko kwa radio. I've been here since 2018. How we started and how we are right now, our listenership is going down, whether we like it or not. Because this young generation have their own way of doing things. Now, kuna statement tu mse amesema hapa hivi that I want to correct him on this, especially this particular part. So let's listen to this part and let's see.
Hapa ndo unaanza kutafuta ngoma ya 3 ya 4 unatafuta kina Ofweneke wa kusaidia promote ngoma. Na tunakumbuka, we shall remember, we shall revisit this one.
Now, Dr. Ofweneke, you are wrong on this part. This guy did not need to look for you when he was promoting his first song. Neither did he need to look for you when he's promoting his second song. This new generation have their own way of doing things. Whether we like it or we don't, it's upon us to go to their world, not them come to our world. Our shall build world yao. And I know as a media personality unaweza kuwa na ile pride ya utatoa ngoma utanitafuta. The thing is, he will not look for you. This guy has already built his own without you. He's gone on TikTok, he's pushed his music, he has his mbogi hapo hivyo. When he does a song, wanachukua ngoma wanaiweka kwa TikTok videos zao. Song in a trend kwa TikTok, and that is how a song picks up. Nilijua hii story wakati ule demo Kaveve Kazoze. When that song came out, that is the day I knew the times we are living in have changed. Now, as a recording artist, I've been doing music since 2004. Actually, 2003. I recorded my first song in 2003. And I've been doing music, recording music, hadi 2016. That is the last time I recorded a song was in 2016 or 2017. And then I came to radio in 2018. These guys have created their own path. They do not need us to play their music. They do not need our platform. They already have built their own platform. So as a media personality, siwezi kuja hapa nijichoche niseme utanitafuta, because I know he's not going to look for you. He has built his own. It's upon you to figure out how you're going to go into his world and interview him from there. Period. Nakwambia tu, najua hautanisikiza, but that is the reality that we are living in 2024. These young kids don't need us. I'm talking this because I am a mini leader wa group ya vijana. wenye si ride senke nao wanaitwa Kenya Peng Association, na kuna group ingine inaitwa bado Nduthi Culture. By the way, shout out to you guys. Every time we're doing a ride together, these people don't listen to me. They listen to each other. They come with their own plan. They know what they are doing on their bikes. So me hata nikashinda hapo nikiwaambia oya unafanya, I can't. Mine is just to give guidance. Say, Buddha, you're doing wrong on this, change to this. For you, Dr. Ofweneke, having been on media for so long, I think the best approach would have been, ungemtafuta, mkae naye chini, and have a conversation, chini ya maji, bila kamera na nini. Get to know his life, get to know where he's come from. And now build a relationship with him to a point then he can listen to you. Be a mentor to him, as opposed to kukaa kwa job, because he's looking at you zile za Buddha, mimi nakuja interview, wewe unalipo mshahara. Kuni have mimi kwa studio, wewe unalipo mshahara. Mimi nakuja kudu, nakuja hapo niroroe views zako ziende juu, mimi nirudi home nikalale njaa. Or hata kama halali njaa naishi poa, nirudi home niendelee na life yangu bila anything yenye nimeget kutoka kwako. Let me flip the coin. If let's say an artist like who Diamond Platnumz come to Kenya, like I remember there was a time he came to Kenya and said, you know what, for you to have me on interview, you're gonna have to pay 3 million Kenyan shillings. Every media house that paid that money, guys paid the money, and they were able to host him on the show. In fact, he called them to his hotel room and they did an interview there. That made way for him in Kenya, and also made the presenters way for them in Tanzania. Think about it as a business, bro. This guy will not look for you. You will look for him. I love, there's a very amazing podcast me watch inaitwa $1 million worth of game. The other day I saw them traveling from their studio in Philadelphia. Wakaenda Las Vegas, Nevada to interview a new artist. They left their studio. These guys have been doing this thing for years. They have built an audience, millions of viewers. But they left their studio in Philadelphia, flew for about 3 hours to go and sit down for one episode with a new artist. Now, bro, hii ndio inaitangwa change of game. Hii generation haituhitaji, sisi ndio tunawahitaji. So we don't bring them into our lives. We go into their lives. That is wisdom for you, my brother. So before you start saying this guy will look for you, I want to let you know he will not. All right? Let's continue on with the conversation, by the way. I'm feeling a bit niko on fire hapa kwa studio. Now, last week as I was doing the show, I brought about somebody here. Somebody came about here and he was telling us something. I didn't have this video last week, but today I actually have it. So let's transition into this guy's conversation. Let's hear him out. Sindio? All right, let's go.
Niaje watu wangu. Naitwa Benson. Leo niliamka asubuhi saa ngapi hivi? I think 4. Kwa najaribu ku deliver goods fulani kwa customer. And I think kukuwa na hiyo time alone imenifanya ni realize ninapoteza time yangu hapa America. Nimekuwa hapa tangu
fair use, Mr. Benson. I have to use your video for teaching purposes. Fair use.
2011. Na nimefanya kazi yoyote, nimeingia jeshi, nimefanya 4 years, nikadeploy, nikaenda Afghanistan, nikaingia corporate world. After that, my last job I think nilikuwa na make about 12,000 a month US dollars. So I don't know hiyo ni pesa ngapi. It's like maybe 1.6, 1.7 ya Kenya. Na on the side pia nimekuwa na business. Na nimerealize kitu moja sahi tu within those last guess 3 hours. Na waste time yangu hapa, I'm wasting my time here. And I'm not going to do that anymore.
Gentlemen, we all have this moment. Like I said on last week's podcast, we all have these moments. As you can see today, I'm very ready. I have every video on cue, which is very, very important for you, for me as a podcaster, to be able to do this. Now, this guy, his name is Benson. He said he's been in America for many years, since 2011. He has served in the army. He has left the army. He was employed in a company, and now he's doing his own business still in America. He also has a lot of real estate and all that, as he says in the video. And we all come to this moment where we get burnout because we never take time for ourselves. We are always looking out for the family. We're always looking out for the people around us. We're always working towards building and making this better and doing this and doing the other and winning here and winning there and saving here. As I said when I was starting the show, having this vision board, you always have, I want to do this, I want to do that. I mean, we all have that as men. And it's good, it's very, very important. However, as I was watching this video, this came to my mind. This guy is literally burnout. He's been doing every of these things until imefika point sasa he's burnout. He's living in the land of opportunity. Now, I have no issue with his video. I have no issue with his content. I mean, he can do whatever he wants to do. That is his life. If he chooses to come back to Kenya, hiyo ni life yake. That is his choice. So, atafanya tu venye anataka. However, I saw another point of this, and that's why I do this. That's why I naitwa for the sake of it. So, just for the sake of it, I saw another angle to this whole conversation that he was having here. And he's talking about how he's tired. He's looking at it and now waste time yake. Now, he's living in the land of opportunity as we know it. The land of milk and honey. Venye kila mtu anataka kuenda. I know so many people, millions of people who are living in Kenya today who wish they had an opportunity to move to the US and live there. My God, nikapata chance ya kwenda America. I know people who will even say that. And this guy is living there and he's saying, I'm done with America. I want to come back home. Na sisi wenye tunaishi hapa, we are looking at it like, unakuja. I even saw on a comment somebody posted, or as he posted this video, somebody alicomment hapo chini, Buddha, unakuja huku kufanya. And I saw, when I look at him, I see somebody who's burnout. I see somebody who's done so much, has been on that, I want to do, I'm doing this, next, I want to do this, next. Hata saizi ukisikia akiongea, he's talking about, I'm done with here, I want to move back to Kenya. And even as you watch the rest of the video, which I'm not going to play, you can find it online, he's talking about the things he wants to do when he comes back to Kenya. Now, as I was watching his clip, I saw another video that he also posted that I want to also play. And this one, this is where now I know say he's now akotupa world yake. So I want you to watch this.
Ni kama tuna cloud chase hapa. Hii ni passport yangu ya Mayolo right here. Na hii ni passport ya Kenya, of course. Acha nikuonyeshe picha. Hiyo ndio picha. Na details. Unaweza angalia hapa uone expiry date yake ni 2032.
How many of us are watching this video wondering what? How many are you? How many are watching this video and just wondering what is this guy saying?
Right.
Now I have to keep interrupting for fair use purposes because this is somebody else's content. That's how you do content on YouTube.
Ndio page niko na hizo vitu.
So he's literally destroying the American passport. And as you watch the video, he's going to destroy the entire passport and remain with the Kenyan one and say, this is the future. As he does. So I'm going to forward this to the end, to where he's completely destroyed the other passport. And I want you to hear what he says.
Ndio. This is the future right here. Look at that. This is the future.
Thank you, TikTok, for that. So you can see the guy saying, amedestroy your passport ingine, na akasema, this is the future. Now, Kenya, to him, is the future. He's done with America. He's been there. He's done that. He's seen it all. Amekuwa pale, and now he's coming back to his future. And I know most people are watching that video and just wondering, my God, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are you coming to Kenya for? You know? And I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Listen, everything that happens is a choice. We all have that moment. You choose what you want. You choose the life you want to live. Hakuna kitu mtu anaweza akakushow. Life is a choice. You live it however you want to live it. You do the things that make you happy. And yeah. Hakuna mtu anaweza kuja hapa akuambie this is what you're supposed to do. No. And that is why as I do this podcast is not to tell you do this or do the other. No, me, I'm just talking. Me ni kuroroa na roroa. That's why it's called for the sake of it. So I'm just talking for the sake of it. Now it's upon you to pick something from what I say and build your life based on it, or just trash it, forget about it. Move on with your life the way it is. If things are working out for you, why do you need me? You don't need to listen to what I'm saying. So like I say, this guy has done that. He's burned the complete bridge. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm moving. I mean, as a man, you have the capacity and the ability to make your own decision. Hakuna mtu anaweza kuuliza. And as we come to the conclusion of the show, I have a wonderful gentleman here who's also telling us something that I want us to listen to. And then that's the end of the show today. All right? So this is somebody who's in the media, in this field of mine. His name is G Money, one of the people that I totally listen to when it comes to radio, one of my inspiration when it comes to radio, and he's talking to us about access. So let's go.
Yo, what's up? Uncle G here. Just a quick one. You know, there's a tendency in life that when people do you wrong, you be like, right, no one's ever gonna do this to me again. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna become this bad person who's gonna no. It's important for us to change our access. Don't watch the label. It's important for us to change the people who have access to us and not change ourselves, because that makes no sense. You are who you are. Can you imagine that if somebody like does something bad to you today, you change? Someone else does something bad to you tomorrow, you change? No. You stay who you are. Just change the access that people have to you.
Amazing. What a wonderful way to end this show today. Indeed, just because somebody did you wrong does not mean that you change who you are. Just remain who you are. Change the access. If there's one button I love to use on my phone, it's called the block button. Because I'm not about to go into my next level carrying bad energy. So if somebody hayuko kwa line yangu ya life, if somebody is not adding any value to my life, what I do is that I use the block button and let them go. I just limit the access they have towards me, because I'm not about to carry bad energy with me, because that will definitely be a crutch for me when it comes to growth in my own life. I am all about growth. I'm all about becoming better. I'm all about elevating. I'm all about, my energy right now is all about becoming a better person, elevating my life, creating opportunities for myself, building something for myself that I can look back and say, you know what? I'm actually proud that I took the opportunity. In my age right now at 39, I'm looking at life in terms of opportunities. When I came back to radio, like I told you, many people have been asking, why did you come back to radio? Because for me, I looked at radio as an opportunity to be able to do this podcast right here. On radio over the weekend, we have a lot of dead time. Dead time means there's nothing really going on air. There's no show. There's one show, and then there's a huge gap, and then there's another show, then there's a huge gap where it's only music playlist playing back to back, DJ mixes and all that, which is good. But I looked at it and I saw an opportunity, and I'm like, you know what can I do with this time? What can I do to better myself with this time? So I saw an opportunity, and that's why I came back. And that is why I am sitting right here on this chair, capitalizing on the opportunity. So I cannot be here right now and I'm carrying bad energy with me. When I left radio and I had a 3 or 2 year break because I was going through divorce. And I was going through it, I was hurt, I was bitter, I was going through the emotions. Today I wake up, I'm angry. Tomorrow I wake up, I'm bitter. The next day I wake up, I'm hurt. And I had to go through that by myself. And I decided I'm not going to numb the pain. I'm not going to dive into alcohol and drink myself silly. I decided I'm going to go through the moments because I know eventually I will heal. And when I heal, I will become a better person. Now, there's something they say about fire and pain and pressure. It bursts pipe. But it also makes you stronger. Fire burns wood, but it refines gold. So what are you? What substance are you made of? Are you gold or are you wood? Because the fire will come. What will it do to you? Will it burn you off or will it refine you? Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our podcast today. I will see you again next week, same time, same place. Do enjoy, share this live if you share this video with somebody if it makes sense to you, and of course subscribe to the channel. I have so much more coming. You want to stay tuned and you want to stay locked. To everybody who's listening to this on RFM radio, asanteni sana for your time. That has been my time. It's time for me to get out of here. Peace.